Hey up, it's Steve from the old Yorkshire Geek, and I'm doing an impromptu live stream. I'm just going to go through some news stories. So let's just get the intro out of the way, and then we can have a look at some stuff. Right, I'm back. Yes, so we've got some news stories to look at. So we'll get them up, and then we can have a look. Right, first up from Bounding Into Comics, I'll put the links in the description below. I haven't put them in yet because I've just decided to do this just now. So I haven't had a chance to do anything. I haven't even got a proper thumbnail. Oh, anyway, so there we go. There's Henry Cavill. This is in the wake of Henry Cavill's Instagram message saying that, it's no longer going to be Superman. Cracking, bumming freezing. I've got my jacket on again. Ooh. Right, petition launched to have David Zaslav, I'm scrolling the wrong thing, to have David Zaslav keep Henry Cavill as Superman and remove James Gunn as DC Studios head. That was kind of go a bit over the top, don't they, these petitions. Right. A petition has been launched to attempt to persuade Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to keep Henry Cavill as Superman while removing James Gunn as the head of DC Studios. And there's Henry Cavill as Clark Kent with a Superman suit behind him. The petition comes on the heels of Henry Cavill posting to Instagram that he would no longer be playing Superman following a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran. Cavill wrote, I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news. Everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman after being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire. This news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest fortunes, Cavill continued. Very classy is our Henry. And there's a poster for the Justice League. Still don't know why he did it in 4:3. And he wants to do a black and white version. Did he do a black and white version? I don't know. Why? I don't know. They're just obsessed with black and white. Oh, it's more artistic. No, it's just less colourful. Anyway, he then stated, for those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around, everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all. Onwards and upwards, Cavill concluded, and there's the Instagram post. James Gunn would also post a statement to his social media explaining the split between Cavill and his own vision for a Superman film. He wrote on Twitter, Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share some exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the new year. And there's the tweet. Among those on the slate is Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life. So the character will not be played by Henry Cavill, he declared. So they've done this in Smallville, haven't they? I said this in my video earlier on today. Why? I don't know. I mean, they did a young Superman, didn't they? In Superman the movie, 1978, for God's sake, played by Jeff East. Didn't they? But voiced by Christopher Reeve. But still played a very good part, did young Jeff East as the young Clark Kent. Anyway, and obviously they've done the Smallville and I don't know. Anyway, Gunn then added, we just had a great meeting with Henry and we're big fans and we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future. They didn't. They probably had a big, massive shouting match and said, no, we don't need any more. And he went, oh, I'll shite here then. I'm going. Because he talks like that, does Henry. He then proceeded to answer a number of fan inquiries. Don't come crawling back when it all collapses around you. You need me to come and play Superman again. You can bugger off. And he slammed door behind him. That's what happened. He then proceeded to answer a number of fan inquiries confirming the Superman project he's working on is indeed a film and that he's writing it. So it'll be full of quips. However, they don't have a director currently attached. Will it be gory like Suicide Squad? The Suicide Squad. Gunn also claimed the film is not an origin movie, despite saying it will focus on the earlier part of Superman's life. And here's some tweets. Being part of the slate, I assume it's a movie, somebody asked, and he replied, yes. Are you writing and directing? And James says, I am writing, I have been for a while, we don't know who is directing yet. Please tell me this isn't an origin movie, no way. So we're not going to see Krypton then, by the looks of it. But if it's younger, it's got to be some sort of origin story, because he didn't become Superman, did he, till he was an adult? In the traditionally accepted canon, I don't know. But was he Superboy, or was Superboy? I don't know. I'm not up on Superman. The ins and outs. I hurt myself then. Anyway, finally, he provided an update on Ben Affleck as well, saying, met with Ben yesterday precisely because he wants to direct, and we want him to direct. We just have to find the right project. Maybe a Superman film. There you go. Oh, there's somebody else said, could Ben Affleck direct? Right, following both Cavill and Gunn's statement, YouTuber Lady Gravemaster launched a petition directed towards David Zaslav requesting that he keep Cavill and eject Gunn. The petition states, they say the age of the movie star is dead. Tom Cruise proved that to be false with Top Gun Maverick. Movie stars can possess star power. You now have a gun of your own, but yours is shooting you in the foot and the bottom line. It continues, Mr. Cavill is Superman and can generate an actual net increase to your brand worth $1 billion plus if you allow him to. James Gunn cannot. What we wish to see of Superman is the same we wish to see of Batman, him in his prime, not Smallville 2.0 for more modern audiences. And there's the Justice League. Superman is a beacon of truth, justice and hope, and the American way, hope like that which, under your company's direction and thereby yours, was ignited in the DC fanbase when you had Mr. Cavill announce his return just 2 short months ago, she continues. Lady Gravemaster then declares, treating your talent and now previously paying customers this way is almost as bad as disrespecting canon. She then offers Zaslav a solution and even points to director Steve Barron as a replacement for James Gunn. The solution is quite simple, a connected standalone trilogy deal with Mr. Cavill as Kent/Superman. I can point you to dozens of law knowledge-rich individuals who would shatter, not subvert, your expectations in the writing room. And if you're looking for a director who will absolutely deliver for everyone, I recommend one Mr. Steve Barron, director of the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, which still delivers to this day, and assisted the late great Richard Donner on the set of 1978 Superman. If she says so, I don't know. I don't know what the beef or blacklist in Hollywood looks like, and frankly, you shouldn't care, she continues. I mean, has he done anything lately, Steve Barron? I don't know. It's first I've heard of him, so I don't know. I don't know what the beef or blacklist in Hollywood looks like, and frankly, you shouldn't care, she continues. Find the best people for the job and deliver a production that is exceptional and worth paying movie ticket prices for your customers, so it can in turn be profitable for you. The petition concludes, we will vote with our wallets. That's the only way to get them. The petition, there's a link there. If you want to go to it, has currently been signed by 89 people. Will you be signing? Let's have a look. Opening new tab. And there it is, change.org. Mr. Zaslav, keep Cavill, eject Gunn, don't make Netflix's mistake. I hate them things, except cookies. It's got 332 signatures now. So there we go, let's get to 500. So there you go. So if you want to sign that, it's at change.org. So I'll sign that. I'll not scroll down because it might be some personal information in there, because I've signed change.org stuff in there before. So we'll just leave it there. And I think that's it, isn't it? Yes, that's it. So there you go. So if you want to sign that, you can do, but I don't think it won't make any difference. It won't. But it's just showing that the fans have a bit of a beef with James Gunn and the letting go of Henry Cavill. So I don't think Mr. Cavill was very happy about it, to be honest. He sounded a bit sad in his statement, didn't he? That's saying, as he was brought back, wanted just a couple of months ago. He was in that Black Adam, as in a cameo role. And I think everybody were hoping that another. Well, there were hopes, wasn't there, that there were going to be a Man of Steel 2. But anyway, right. So we'll move on. We'll move on from that one to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, maybe getting a new ending. And there's Harrison Ford with his face that if you cut it down the middle, or I think one side's smiling, the other side's grumpy, isn't it? Anyway, with the next John Wick film on the way, a couple of major DC projects hitting theatres, a full slate of MCU offerings set for release, and a new Christopher Nolan flick on the docket. That's the Oppenheimer one, where he decided to recreate the atomic test, the Trinity atomic test, practically. I don't think he really blew up a nuke. Oh, it's not, they weren't nukes then, were they? They were atomic weapons, weren't they, back then? But he did it practically without CG. Well, it's safe to say 2023 shaping up to be a major year for blockbuster cinema. As hotly anticipated as all of those coming attractions no doubt are for movie lovers, one might easily argue the next chapter of the Indiana Jones franchise bests them all. Titled Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The fifth film in the beloved franchise, is it beloved or beloved, whatever, franchise, finds director James Mangold, Logan, taking over from originator Steven Spielberg. It also finds Harrison Ford reprising one of his most iconic roles in what's almost certain to be the swashbuckling character's cinematic swan song. With any luck, Dial of Destiny, terrible title, might we'll call it the alphanumeric keypad of fate, or something like that. Might even cleanse the not entirely pleasant taste of the franchise's previous outing, 2008's divisive, not divisive, it's divisive. You don't say divid, do you? You say divide. Divisive, but you do say division, so in English, wonderful, but never mind. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, from the collective mouths of fans. If the film's first official trailer is any indication, Mangold and the Dial of Destiny team are pulling out all the stops for Indy's final adventure, doing so with a heaping dose of nostalgia. It seems, however, they've hit a potential snag in the film's final act, as it is being reported their Dial of Destiny may need a new ending. Right. Composer John Williams says a reshoot may be in the works for Indiana Jones 5, and there's Phoebe Waller-Bridge doing from the trailer, saying, "Oh, we're hardly related." Oh, God, it's bloody awful. Well, neither James Mangold nor anyone from Paramount Pictures has confirmed that potentially troubling news. It came from somebody very close to the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny production. That source is legendary composer John Williams, whose franchise return for Dial of Destiny will likely serve as his final film project, per Variety. During a recent concert event in Italy, the five-time Academy Award winner led an orchestra through some of his most iconic big-screen compositions. And as covered by badtaste.it, when it came to talk Indiana Jones, the composer almost casually revealed that James Mangold and company may indeed be eyeing a new ending for the film. Quote, "So we have just about completed the film," Williams said, noting, "we have maybe another ending to shoot and to record, maybe in a couple of weeks." What's John Williams doing in Italy anyway? I thought he couldn't travel. Because remember when they did the original, the Disney sequel trilogy, and John Williams was doing the score, and they didn't use the London Symphony Orchestra. I think it's the London Symphony Orchestra in it for Star Wars. It's not Philharmonic, it's Symphony, whatever. One of those two. And they didn't use them, they used the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra or Symphony Orchestra. And they used a different orchestra because they said he couldn't travel because he was too old and frail. Now he's buggering off to Italy. Tell you, he's immortal, is the man, I hope. Where were we? And a new ending for the film. So we have just about maybe have an ending another shoot and record maybe in a couple of weeks. Williams, understandably, did not go into detail about the ongoing production, or why a new ending might be in the making for Dial of Destiny, there have, of course, been numerous rumours floating about town about the ending of the film, and even a few about a disastrous test screening. But those rumours have since been debunked by James Mangold himself via Twitter, and also Frank Marshall. The more likely case is that Mangold and everyone back in Dial of Destiny at Lucasfilm are acutely aware of how big a deal the final chapter of the Indiana Jones saga is to multiple generations of movie lovers, and given the stakes, they undoubtedly also know how important it is to stick the landing. Yeah, well, as I went on, they've gone on to Twitter, both James Mangold and Frank Marshall, who's an executive producer and husband to Kathleen Kennedy, have gone on Twitter and said the rumours that Indiana Jones is going to be, replaced at the end of this film, and deleted from history. It's all not true, and it was never going to be true, and in no script was it ever going to happen. But yet they're still reshooting the ending with a new ending. What does it say? Eyeing a new ending for the film. So there you go. But never mind. Don't worry. Everything's okay. Everything's lovely. And the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. So that's what they're saying. But yeah, you don't shoot a new ending if everything's hunky dory, do you? No, you don't. So Doomcock was right, probably, or quite right. Maybe not 100% right, but on the right track. Anyway, right. So let's move on. So that's that one. Shall we stick with films as we go to gaming? Let's go to gaming. Don't do a lot of gaming stuff, do I? I saw this earlier on. I actually saw the tweet on Twitter. Right, Amazon to support and publish new Tomb Raider with Crystal Dynamics. Amazon is growing its gaming business. It's growing everything, isn't it? Amazon Games has signed a deal with Crystal Dynamics to support the development of and publish the next mainline Tomb Raider game being made in Unreal Engine 5. The companies announced the partnership today, December 15th, saying they have reached an agreement under which Crystal Dynamics will develop a new multi-platform Tomb Raider title, with Amazon Games providing full support and publishing the game globally. The game in question is the next-gen Tomb Raider that was announced in April 2022. Crystal Dynamics, which was purchased by Embracer Group in August, noted that the acquisition has allowed for more unconventional publishing agreements, such as the deal with Amazon. It used to be with Square Enix, didn't they? But Embracer Group have bought them out. Crystal Dynamics has an extraordinary opportunity following our acquisition by Embracer to redefine what a publishing relationship is for Tomb Raider, said head of Crystal Dynamics, Scott Amos. Transformative is what we're looking for. And with Amazon Games, we found a team that shares our creative vision, ambitions, and billions of dollars, and values for a Lara Croft universe across the spectrum of possibilities. They're uniquely positioned to rewrite what publishing and development collaborations are, and we're eager to forge this new path together. Starting with building the biggest and best Tomb Raider game yet. A relatively vague description of the new game was also shared, though it essentially conforms to what players would expect from Crystal Dynamics' next game. The as-yet untitled new Tomb Raider game is a single-player, narrative-driven adventure that continues Lara Croft's story in the Tomb Raider series, so presumably it'll be the same voice actress, whose name escapes me, that did Tomb Raider, the reboot, and Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I presume it's her. But you never know, it might not be. It includes all the elements that have made Tomb Raider one of the most revered franchises in gaming, giving players control of the confident and multidimensional hero Lara Croft in an environment that rewards exploration and creative pathfinding with mind-bending puzzles to solve and a wide variety of enemies to face and overcome. Crystal Dynamics is drawing on the power and cutting-edge technology of Unreal Engine 5 to take storytelling to the next level in the biggest, most expansive Tomb Raider game to date. The title is currently in early development, and additional details will be announced at a later date. Little else was said about the game, and considering And considering it's still in early development, it will likely be a while longer before Crystal Dynamics, Embracer, or Amazon Games shares more. In our 9 out of 10 review of the previous game, IGN said, Shadow of the Tomb Raider offers up a powerful finale to Lara Croft's origin trilogy. It was alright. I liked the first two. They were pretty much the same games, really, weren't they? Just with new skins. I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider were a bit more different, but Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider were essentially the same game, really. More or less, if you look at them. But I still enjoyed them. I still enjoy them games. I still enjoy playing them. But you can't beat the first one and the second one on the original PlayStation for me. They're the best. They're the bestest by core design. Right, so there you go. So new Tomb Raider games coming, published and distributed by Amazon. They're getting everywhere, aren't they? Right, next up, James Cameron, 68, because that's important to the Daily Mail. Hang on, we've got to move this back again, haven't we? I don't know. Blames box office flop Terminator Dark Fate on the ages, in capitals, of stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, 75, and Linda Hamilton, 66. It was your granddad's Terminator movie. Plus, it wasn't a very good film. James Cameron has blamed the flop of 2019's Terminator Dark Fate on the ages of its leads Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton. Avatar director Cameron, 68, who wrote and produced the film, I think he co-wrote it, didn't he? I think he didn't, I think he just gave some suggestions, basically, and somebody else wrote the film. Alongside director Tim Miller, 58, said the choice to bring back Schwarzenegger, 75, and Hamilton, 66, as Sarah Connor, resulted in the flick becoming your granddad's Terminator movie. Dark Fate, a direct sequel to 1991's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, lost more than $120 million at the box office, ruling out any chance of further sequels, because it wasn't very good. But it wasn't terrible, I'm saying it's not very good. I must admit, all the Terminator films, I do quite enjoy, for what they are, the viewing experience, but it just wasn't a very good sequel, was it? It was a rubbish sequel to the other Terminator films. But as an action film, it was okay. But anyway, my favourite of the non-Cameron Terminator films is Terminator Salvation, because at least they tried something different with that. Avatar director Cameron told Deadline, hang on, I have to move that down, there you go. Told Deadline, I think the problem, and I'm going to wear this one, is that I refuse to do it without Arnold. Tim didn't want Arnold, but I said, look, I don't want that. Arnold and I have been friends for 40 years, and I could hear it, and it would go like this. Jim, I can't believe you're making the Terminator movie without me. That's my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Pretty good, eh? Adding that he wasn't particularly... I wonder if he did that as well. I wonder if when he gave the interview, when he told Deadline, I wonder if he did it in Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice. I bet he did. Get to the chopper. I know that's Predator. Adding that he wasn't particularly invested in the film to begin with, he continued, it just distancing himself, innit? It just didn't mean that much to me to do it, but I said, if you guys could see your way clear to bringing Arnold back, and then, I'd be happy to be involved. Yeah, because he got the rights back, hadn't he? From whoever had the rights before. It was Karolko, wasn't it, for a while, I think, and then... is it C2 or whatever? I can't remember. Lightstorm. I don't know. No, Lightstorm's Cameron's company, isn't it? Anyway, whatever. He got the rights back. So there. Right. And then Tim wanted Linda. I think what happened is I think the movie could have survived having Linda in it. I think it could have survived having Arnold in it. When you put Linda and Arnold in it, and then, she's 60-something, he's 70-something, all of a sudden it wasn't your Terminator movie. It wasn't even your dad's Terminator movie. It was your granddad's Terminator movie, and we didn't see that. He's talking out of his ass, isn't he? That's what it is. It was just not a very good film. Plus making, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator, the Terminator that killed John Connor at the beginning of the film, goes on to become a draper and falls in love or whatever with a woman and raises her son as his own, or daughter, or whatever it is. It was stupid. It was stupid. I'm saying I liked it. I didn't really. There's the post. Oh, of course, it had... in it as a hermaphroditic. I'm saying that, I don't know, but it's a woman. She's clearly a woman, and I think she just says she's a she, but she's very mannish, isn't she? But never mind. Cameron said that the direct sequel to a 1991 film meant contemporary movie fans hadn't even been born and wouldn't even have been born for another 10 years when Judgment Day was released. Why don't they just make it a sequel to the previous films? But then there'd have to be a sequel to Genesis, which, were pretty diabolical. Even though, as I've said before, I do quite enjoy them as standalone films, but whatever. I said whatever a lot, don't I? I've got to stop doing that. Anyway, Terminator Dark Fate marked the return of the franchise's creator Cameron, who directed the 1984 classic The Terminator from a script he co-wrote with Gale Ann Hurd, and then had to, mention the inspiration of Harlan Ellison, because, he hasn't got an original idea in his head, has he, Cameron? They always... but then again, all stories are, variations on a theme, aren't they? Some more so than others. While Cameron returned to direct 1991's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, he was not involved in the 3 films that followed: 2003's Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, which I quite enjoyed, 2009's Terminator Salvation, which I really liked, and 2015's Terminator Genesis, which... none of which could replicate the critical and commercial success of the first 2 films. Terminator Dark Fate was more well received from critics with a 69% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but its $29 million debut was just above 2015's Terminator Genesis, which would go on to make $89 million domestic and $440.6 million worldwide. The story followed... What are we talking about? We don't need to know all this, do we? We know the stories. We know what it's about. Oh, go on then. The story followed a hybrid cyborg human from the future named Grace, oh there we go, Mackenzie Davis, who tries to protect a young girl named Dani Ramos, Natalia Reyes, from a deadly new Terminator known as the Rev 9, Gabrielle Luna. Yeah, because Skynet wasn't around anymore. It was Legion, wasn't it? Because they had to change it. The story is a direct sequel to Terminator 1 and 2, ignoring the events of the other Terminator films in the process. MKM Partners media analyst Eric Handler stated that Paramount made a bad decision in greenlighting this film with this particular budget. This is an aging franchise with aging actors and the reviews were mediocre, Handler added. As good of a franchise as this might have been, it doesn't have the same appeal now, he added. I think that's from Terminator 3, I think, isn't it? Rise of the Machines, I do believe. Could be wrong. That's it. Oh, right, we're done. Send me the ghost. No, thanks. Go away. So there you go. So it's saying it's because they were too old. It's not saying... And he's trying to blame himself because it was his idea to bring Arnie in. But, blame yourself, James. Yeah, put it all on your shoulders and then... whatever. I've said it again. Yeah, it just wasn't a very good film, It's not because you had Arnold in it or Linda Hamilton in it. It's just that it wasn't a very good film. They were fine in it, I suppose, All the actors were fine in it. It was just the story were crap. That's why it were rubbish. That's why it didn't do well at the box office. And finally, this is following on from Patty Jenkins. Anyway, we'll read it. Delayed Star Wars movie just got some new hope. Amidst the turmoil of Wonder Woman 3's cancellation, director Patty Jenkins reveals that her long-in-development Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron is still coming. It's not. I've got to move this again, aren't I? Tell you, all over the place, these websites. All over the place. Come on, where's the edge? There we go. Right, these days, it seems like Warner Brothers and DC Studios are the prime places for shake-ups and release schedule changes. But before things got hairy for Marvel's distinguished competition, there was plenty of turmoil in a galaxy far, far away, and I ain't got a drink for my drinking game. While Star Wars has produced a steady flow of television shows for Disney Plus, from Obi-Wan Kenobi to Andor. Pretty good. But nobody's watching it. Its movie business has taken a back seat. Supposedly, upcoming film projects such as a new trilogy from The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson, yeah, and a new standalone entry from Taika Waititi, oh God, that'll be awful, have languished in development with little to show years after they were originally announced. 24 hours ago, most would have counted Rogue Squadron among the many Star Wars movies that never came into fruition. Originally announced in 2020 with Patty Jenkins, the hot Patty Jenkins, as I call her, as director, Rogue Squadron promised to tell a new story about the famed X-Wing fighters, that would move the saga into the future era of the galaxy, according to the official description. But after Jenkins decided to prioritise making a third Wonder Woman movie with Gal Gadot for WB, Rogue Squadron went on the back burner and most considered it cancelled. However, in the midst of recent reports about her relationship with DC Studios and the future of the Wonder Woman franchise, Jenkins has provided an encouraging update to her Star Wars film. Here are the facts. We did this other day. I'll carry on. Here are the facts, she wrote in a statement posted to social media. Jenkins explained that she left Rogue Squadron because she didn't want to delay Wonder Woman 3 any further. But according to the director, Lucasfilm asked her to consider returning to the project once work on Wonder Woman 3 was complete, and she agreed to do so. They made a new deal with me, she explained. In fact, I'm still on it, and Rogue Squadron has been in active development ever since. And then she goes on to say, but I don't know if we're going to make it. And that's the statement. That said, Jenkins stopped short of promising the movie was definitely going to see the light of day. I don't know if it will happen or not, she admitted. We never do until the development process is complete, but I look forward to its potential ahead. It's not happening. Jenkins has good reason to be so measured. Her statement comes in response to controversial decisions at DC Studios, including the apparent shelving of Wonder Woman 3. Initially, sources reported that newly installed DC Studios heads James Gunn and Peter Safran cancelled the movie, presumably because it did not fit the producer's new vision for the shared universe. And then, of course, there's the Henry Cavill thing, isn't there? As well. Then follow-up reports suggested that Jenkins had walked away from the film, but in her statement the director insisted that she didn't choose to leave the project. I was open to considering anything that was asked of me, but it was my understanding that there was nothing I could do to move anything forward at this time, so she walked away. Whatever the case, if she'd have just changed it, she said she was open to changing things, but there was nothing she could do. But she should have changed it. She would have said, yes, okay, I will look into these changes of yours that you're suggesting, and then we can move forward, can't we? But no, she didn't. She walked. Whatever the case may be at DC, Jenkins' Rogue Squadron revelation is just the latest exciting update about the upcoming Star Wars movies. While on the press tour for his latest movie, Glass Onion, Rian Johnson shared that he too remains hopeful that his trilogy will happen when the timing is right. Yeah, of course it will. Although no Star Wars film has hit screens since 2019's The Rise of Palpatine, it seems that Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy remains committed to the franchise's original medium. She's out the door before very long. Her contract's up next year, I think, and then she'll be gone. She'll see Indiana Jones. I think that's why they've delayed it, really. Not just for the reshoots, but because it'll come out shortly before Kathleen Kennedy's contract is up, and this can be her swan song. It'll do okay at the cinema because people will go to see it, see how bad it is, and then it'll be, she can either bow out gracefully or bow out on a high. Hey, we're brilliant, but it won't be. But you never know. Or she can bow out gracefully and say, "No, well, we tried our best, but it didn't really work," and so I'm going to walk off into the sunset, a la Indiana Jones 3, ride off into the sunset. With hubby Frank Marshall. Hopefully this announcement means that not only that Jenkins will be able to make a Rogue Squadron movie, but also that the other announced big screen projects will eventually get off the ground too. While you wait for more blah blah blah, right. What's the bet? What's the betting that Rogue Squadron the movie becomes Rogue Squadron the Disney Plus series? We were going to give you, $250 million to do this film, Patty, but we've decided we're just going to give you half of that, and you're gonna do a series. So you've got to make it a bit longer, because we want it in eight episodes. So you're gonna have to make the film longer. You have to expand the script and do it with less money. How's that? And then she'll walk off that, and somebody else will do it, and it'll probably be really good. Right, that's it. That's your lot. So that's it. That was just there we go. That was just a quick impromptu live stream, just to keep my live streams up. I'll be going live again tomorrow night at 9 o'clock UK time, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, with me. Old Yorkshire Geeks at Friday night, Appointment with Fear, and this week we're looking at I'm doing a lot of sniffling today, aren't I? I don't know. I haven't got a cold, I'm just sniffling a lot. I don't know why. Maybe it's all the drugs I'm not taking. I don't take drugs, apart from me medication that the doctor gives me. Anyway, we're doing The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is a really good film, and then I forgot. I picked these films and I forget, heck, there's quite a lot of nudity in it, because it's about them doing an autopsy on a naked woman on a slab. So I've had to go through the film, and there's lots of black bars that I've had to add. But anyway, so we'll be looking at that tomorrow. So we'll leave it there. So anyway, I did a couple of other videos earlier on today, by the way. I did a video about Henry Cavill and his Superman not being Superman anymore, so you can have a look at that. And also, I did a video about the trailer. I reviewed the trailer for 65, the new film that's coming out in March, starring Adam Driver, Star Wars chap, where he ends up fighting dinosaurs, and he looks okay, but we will see what happens with that. Right, so I'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are in the universe, look after each other, and until next time, Merry Christmas. And I'll say hang on, I nearly forgot. I'm not used to doing live streams anymore. I'm supposed to do my outro, and I forgot to do it. I forgot to get it ready. I'm going this time, definitely. Right, I'll say